few weeks ago I did a video about this auxiliary tank and toolbox combination from the Fuelbox.com. I love it, okay? Go back and check out that video. After that, I got quite a few contacts asking me what do I think people ought to have in their toolbox. The other day, Elmer was over here, and so he asked me, Manny, what do you think a man ought to have in his toolbox? I said, Elmer, I don't care what you eat, what you drink, what you smoke, what you inject. I don't think you need anybody's permission to marry whomever you want. And I don't think you need anybody's permission to hunt on your own property whenever you feel like it. I don't care what you have in your toolbox. I just don't want anybody telling me what I've got to have in mine. So Elmer says, look, bro, I'm just curious what you got in your toolbox. I'm just kidding. That conversation never took place. But I would like to show you what's in my toolbox. I'm happy to give you my advice. You know, I pick on Elmer because if you can't laugh at your friends, what good are they? So let's take a look. I've got things organized sort of by category in these plastic containers. I've got these larger plastic bins like this one. So then I've got some about this size, and they just rest in the bottom of the toolbox and help keep things from getting too scattered. I have a hose here that I use for adjusting the tire pressure in my truck because I have onboard air. Another thing I highly recommend. Tire pressure gauge, lubricant, scratch doctor. After going through the woods and get scratches in your paint, little scratch doctor, pry bar, some caulk, got a flashlight, zip ties. Sometimes I help a friend of mine who owns a construction company and I have to go around and there's always something that needs to be fixed. So fasteners, these are flexible straps for just strapping things down in the truck. For heavier duty stuff, I've got these ratcheting straps. And here I've got some small tools, extra blades for the utility knife, and then a bunch of these spring-loaded, like these needle nose pliers. I have a file here that I can use to sharpen a chainsaw. Marker, pencils, got some instant glue. Here I have some Torx. These sizes of these Torx drivers will cover like everything on my Benchmade automatic if I need to tighten any of these. I've got a flathead right here. I've got a Phillips. I've got an odd Torx size in there. I've got some electrical tape and some heat shrink electrical insulators. In this bin, I've got some larger tools and a tape measure, use that all the time. I have a magnetic level. Let's see. There we go, now we're level. Hacksaw. Okay, I've got a box of screws. I've got some snips. And I've got a really good crimper. And then I've got a cheaper crimper, but it also has strippers. So that's pretty handy, use that all the time. I haven't used this yet, but the reason I got it was because I needed one and had to borrow somebody's. It's a ring clamp remover with a bunch of different tips. A lot of different size hex, Phillips, flathead, okay? And then different lengths of them. And I've got a few sockets, a few Torx, 1, 2, and 3 size squares. I've got my tape, and I've got some items that I haven't needed, so I'm taking those out now, and I'm gonna put this set of bits in here. So let me show you these. I bought a set here that should cover everything I'm likely to run into. I've got various Phillips and flatheads. I've also got these really odd shaped clutch bits. I have a very small set of precision bits and a little bit larger security set. So these are security Torx and security flatheads. The security hex screw, for example, is going to have a post in the middle of the hole that you're supposed to put your Allen wrench in. Well, it won't fit, so you have to have one of these bits. I'll have a link to this at the website, so go to survivalnewsonline.com and I'll have a link to this. I don't remember exactly how much it was, but I do remember being impressed. It's got to be a good value or else I'm not going to buy it. I don't mind spending a lot of money on tools if I'm getting my money's worth, because you're not losing the money, you're just transferring it from the bank account into your toolbox, and you still have it. You have all that value as long as you don't lose the tool and that you got the value to start with when you paid for it. So for instance, I don't mind paying for a snap-on tool if that's what I need. But actually, I didn't have to buy this one. I conned my sons into getting it for me for Christmas. I was real proud of that. I fairly often need to pack some other stuff into here and walk away from the truck with the tool bag, like into somebody's house. So I needed a bag. I was always needing a specific screwdriver, and I only had like 2 or 3 in the truck. And then I'd have to go to the house and find it. So what I've done is I've taken basically all my screwdrivers and put them in the truck. It's almost as handy as the workshop, and I've always got them with me. So I like having these. If you do only have a couple of screwdrivers in the truck, I would recommend that you get some of these demolition screwdrivers. A demolition screwdriver is where the shaft goes all the way through the handle to a metal plate on the back so you can beat it with a hammer. A claw hammer, 2.5 pound little engineer sledge, and then this is a dead blow mallet. And if you need a dead blow, nothing else will do. There's nothing else out there that will do the job, so gotta have it. Paper towels, I mean, this is not a really high-tech thing, right? But I recommend Viva. It's very strong and very absorbent. Vice grips, a bunch of wrenches, some of them ratcheting. So I've got a set of metric ratcheting wrenches. This is my socket set. I can't afford a lot of snap-on tools. I've only got a few, but this is one of them. This is a 3/8 swiveling head ratchet. Love it. Almost every time I need a socket, I can use this. It's excellent. A bunch of large Torx right here, all the way up to size 55. Metric and standard socket sets, plus a set of impact, okay, in both metric and standard. And here I've got a few more pneumatic tools and some twine, fasteners, stuff like that. Nothing really interesting. So that's what I've got out here. I do have a couple more items in the truck. I know you're wondering where my jumper cables are, so let me show you that. Jumper cables, get some really heavy ones. Copper, heavy duty. 0, 1, or 2 gauge. This is really cool. I've never had a chance to use this yet. I've had to borrow somebody else's, so then I went out and bought mine. This is an oscillating cutter. It's really cool. It's used for like millwork. It has really fine blades, so you can cut the side of a cabinet or something and add an electrical box or something like that. One more thing I recommend, get a fire extinguisher. So what I have here is a Drake mount for my fire extinguisher. Now the mount actually costs more than the canister itself, but it will hold, you know, a variety of sizes. It's a very good mount. I'll give you a link to that too. You can put it anywhere on your truck that's going to work for you. Really secure in the back of your truck. Over here on this side, I've got an extension cord. Never know when I'm going to need that. So it's an extension cord. It's got a 3-head outlet. Obviously, I haven't had to use that one yet, but I've had to use plenty of others. So I think I've covered everything I've got in the truck. Now you know all the tools I've got in the truck. I'm gonna have to mix things up a little bit, so I gotta stay ahead of the game, right? Can't have you guys knowing all my business. So we're gonna swap things around. No, hey, thanks for watching. I hope this has been some help to you. It's not gonna suit everybody's needs. What kind of job you do will affect what kind of tools you need. What kind of hobbies you engage in will determine what tools you need in your truck. How you want to use this space is entirely up to you. I don't care what you do. I wish the whole world were that way. Okay, thanks for watching. I appreciate your interest. I hope this has been some help. Go to the blog, survivalnewsonline.com. I'll have some links to some of these tools and a write-up about it, okay? I'll see you there.